there's about 6 of us that are able to health coach our members. And we've got a registration that's ongoing, and engagement, and I guess signups for that program sort of trickle in throughout the year. So it's not like 100 people all at once, but it's just a few people throughout each week. And when you look at we do it for 4 months. At the end of the 4 months, when you look at the open response answers and the testimonials people share, it's like life-changing things. And maybe it's a cohort of only 50 people, but this is like sustainable behavioral changes that they're probably going to take on with them for the rest of their lives. There's been people who say that, they learned valuable tools, simple things that were realistic and met them where they were, right? And it fit in with their lifestyle. But throughout the course of 4 months, they lost 10 pounds that they didn't even mean to lose because they were just making these healthy changes. And, we're able to provide ideas and tips and those sort of things just by that individual, maybe smaller population impact.
That's such a beautiful experience for the employees to have that. And I like what you mentioned, that transformation or things that stick, And I think this is such an important aspect to highlight too, because often, whether it's leadership development, whether it's training, whether it's, moving employees to the next level, I think we take that mindset also in a wellness situation too. And what happens is like, what webinar, what session, what, event can we plan for one day for employees to come in to know everything they know and their wellness improves. But just your example there alone, over those several months, it's a transition process. And a lot of wellness needs to be derived around that, walking with employees through that experience, going with them, because you may sit down and we get this notoriously with kind of more macho type of industries, whether it's engineering, automotive, etc. I don't need therapy. I don't need coaching. I'm okay with myself. And it's really interesting because you'll get them to sit down, and for the first session, the second session, they're rolling their eyes. Why am I wasting my time? That kind of thing. By the third session, you can't get them to shut up because they're beginning to open. And I did an interview with someone before that was in the sports industry, and she said she was in a similar situation where the athletes, some were more hesitant to come out because there's a lot of different cultural experiences and perspectives on what this actually indicates. Because, the therapy or counseling in the US may come less of a stigma than it does if you're from the UAE or from Latin America or from Asia. Like there's even in Germany, there's a different weight assigned to talking to a mental therapist than it is kind of in the US. And that alone has a hurdle to overcome. So I love that you highlighted the longevity of the experience, because that really creates that positive but permanent transformation for employees. And that must be such a powerful thing to share back with teams, to share back with your managers as well. Because like, this is what we invested in. And imagine too, what is the retention on those type of employees? Like
Mhm.
I would ask you, I wouldn't know, but I would suspect it's got to be long, right?
Yeah. I will say we just started launching the ongoing version of this. So, we don't have this cohort yet to follow for a long period of time.